What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we have the one and only Brian Mitchell joining us today. We will talk about the WNBA's draft and who got better. And I'm going to ask the question, do you guys know who Asia O'Neal is? That plus much, much more. Everybody's here. We all ready to go. Hi. Let's get it.
Yeah.
First String Podcast. Yeah. True Danny. Dre on the beat. You know. Yeah. What's your favorite squad? Tell me who you going with. First String Podcast. Yeah, we keep it lit. We got the latest updates. We don't pump fake. Like, comment, share. We don't care. Feel free to hate. We got great guests join us. You should chime in. Trudini on the intro for the time being. Lady A, representing Washington. Pick Washington, everything Washington. Mo coming out of Dallas, you know the business. Said, them Georgia Bulldogs ain't quitting. Yeah, if you ain't watching sports, you ain't living. About to get my mattress Mac on, about to bet $1 million, bet $1 million. Let's talk about it. We all grown and cool, we can talk about it. Before we hit the news, we gon' talk about it. Oh, you wanna bet? Let's pop a bottle about it.
Welcome back to First String Podcast. Do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. Give us that good thumbs up as well. The most important part is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast. All right, so the HR was in the building already, but before we bring HR, we got Said sliding in hot. What's good, Said? How are you?
What's up, my brother? What's good? What's good?
Not too much. You see, HR is ready to pass out fines already. Well, let's get HR in here right now. How are you, ma'am?
You can't see the notepad.
So I'm good. Not sure what happened and why I was put in beforehand, but that means that you guys were acting up.
Probably, you're probably right. You're probably right. And
Yeah,
there it is right there. That's the first one.
yeah,
of the
you guys
day.
were acting up. Mm-hmm.
You're probably right. You're probably right. And little bro, what's happening, man? How are you?
Peace and salutations, blessings.
Well, listen. Well, listen.
What's going on, everybody?
Can we get a little something? Can we get a little something? Can I get a little tune, a little something, just to start this day off right?
Taste.
Can I get a little taste?
What's that about?
I don't know.
Listen, that's better than the one I was going to sing because I was going to go down in the valley.
Whoa.
See, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I'm here, because you don't know how to act.
You can't impromptu everything. You gotta plan some stuff.
Hey, listen. Sometimes, I mean, that's what I was about to tell Fed. You know, one of our favorite shows has gotten canceled. So let's get drunk.
Right.
Yeah, it got canceled. Let's get drunk, Uncle in here. How you doing, Al?
Good evening, everyone. My new name is Ant Mo Paparazzi. I'm just following him around, just trying to figure out.
Ant Mo Paparazzi.
Yeah, he's talented brother. We'll make sure everybody knows what's up with him and where he's at.
Hey man, that look good on you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't mad at you for that, dog. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll with that one. Nah.
Hey, B is having a little bit of trouble getting logged in right now, but as soon as we get Brian Mitchell in here, as soon as we get Brian in, we'll bring him in. Question, I asked the question of everybody. It's supposed to go at the end of the show, but I just want to know right now, does anyone know who Asia O'Neal is?
Jermaine O'Neal's daughter.
Jermaine O'Neal's daughter. So in the rundown, I put for the love of the game, how much would you sacrifice? At the end of the show, we're going to talk about how much this young lady did sacrifice for the she loves. So we'll get into that. We're also going to get into the WNBA, right? The WNBA draft was held yesterday. We had 3 rounds, 12 teams. That went off. We'll see what teams got better. But why everybody is here right now is for this reason. Brian Mitchell is in the building today. We're going to talk a little bit of Washington Commanders with the soon-to-be Hall of Famer from the Washington Commanders, played with the Philadelphia Eagles, and somehow he might wind up going to New York.
Oh, man.
Hello, Brian. How are you? Oh.
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all
Hey,
doing?
Brian.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
We doing good. We doing good. So, listen, today was wild out at the Commanders headquarters. They hosted about a 50,000 draft prospects today, including 4 quarterbacks. Everyone except for pretty much J.J. McCarthy. I don't even know if he was there, but Michael Penix was there. Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May.
Yeah.
All 4 of those guys were there. This is the big talk today. Explain this. Usually these things are done like one-on-one visits, but this was done like a mass type deal.
Well, I think what happened is in the past, you can bring one guy in and nobody was trying to speculate or jump to the conclusion and say who you're leaning to or not leaning to. Well, this is what they do in San Francisco. And Adam Peters came from San Francisco, so he's doing exactly what he's accustomed to. So they bring in every quarterback today. Can you really tell who they're leaning to? Then on top of it, as I look at it, whenever you put the best of the best together, some excel, some start to fade away. You know, a true leader is going to be a leader no matter who he's around. And maybe, just maybe, this is a new way to figure out exactly what somebody's all about. You know what I mean? So I didn't have a problem with it. I know everyone wants to have the first dibs on what they think is right or what they're going to do. But who cares? I mean, if they get it right at the end, that's all that matters. I don't care if they brought one in, if they brought somebody before or after. It doesn't make me a difference. Get the guy in and then develop him. If they could do that, then that'd be great. And I believe this team here with this coaching staff is set to develop players better than Ron did, Jay did, or anybody else prior.
Well, you saying develop leads me right into the first question I had, and said I was going to ask you this question, and then I remember you saying that, you know, during the off season you would go work out. You would go work out before you worked out with the team or after you worked out with the team, and then we see the quarterback series with Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Mariota, and we see Patrick Mahomes has his guy that he works out with. We see that Tom Brady had his guy that he worked out with TB12. So my question to you is this, is what would you tell whichever quarterback that we get about investing in himself and doing something like that?
That's what it's all about. To be honest with you, you know, we sit here and we complain when guys go work out somewhere else. Dan Riley, who's the strength coach here, told me that he develops his workout thing for the person who's in the least amount of shape. So if I'm in better shape than the other guy, and then we go through our workout thing and I'm still needing something else, am I supposed to say, well, I did my workout, or I'm supposed to go with somebody else? So I would say to every guy, you know what you need. You know more about yourself than any coach on this staff knows, because you come in here having something. When I came in from Southwest Louisiana, I was an Olympic lifter. I was snatch. I was power clean. I was squat. I did all that stuff. They didn't have that in the facility. So I would work out with Dan. Then I would go over to World Gate and do my own workouts, you know? And the thing of it, I was getting what I needed for Brian Mitchell. And the problem is, you know, so many guys that they feel because I went to the park and went through my stuff, ooh, that's enough. They may not be enough for you. James Harrison spent $500,000 a year. Some guys spent more money than he did per year to make sure they get into the best shape they can be. So if you're not trying to get to the best you can be based off of what you know you need, then you're failing yourself, you know? And I think that's the ultimate thing where as fans, we are so caught into, well, they wasn't at the facility. The facility doesn't always give you everything that you need.
Mm-hmm. Well, B, let me tell you this right now. I know you're doing this new diet or whatever, but you're looking real good over there. So,
I'm trying, dog. I'm trying.
Yeah, I see you looking. I heard you trying to get down to playing weight, get back down to playing weight.
If I get down to playing weight, I'm still not going to play because that hurts.
Still not going back to playing weight. All right, so this is the way it's going to go. Say it, Lady A, and then Alvin, okay? Go ahead, jump in there, say it.
How you doing, B. Mitch?
What's up, brother?
The question, my question is, with the people that the Commanders have let go, more so on the defensive line. What have you seen them do so far during the offseason prior to the draft?
Well, what I've seen is like the anchor and the nucleus is still John and Duran. Okay, and they got the kid Dorrance from Dallas, and they added a few more spots where I don't think that they're stopped. They're finished. They're going to get somebody in the draft, and they're going to look at that. But I think, Chase was loved by a lot of people, but Chase wasn't giving us everything that Chase is supposed to give us. Montez, they wasn't never going to pay him that amount of money. Some people have different values for people. Chicago was able to give up something, and they were willing to give him the trade. That's why that deal worked. Other than that, if they didn't feel they could sign him, they would have never gave up what they did for him and give him that amount of money. I think this team is still set to play better because right now, when I'm looking at the coaching staff with Witt and also with Dan Quinn coming in, they're going to play to the strength of these players, which Jack never did. Ron was disinterested most of the time. He didn't do it either. So they would just say, this is our scheme, go run it. Well, Duran and Montez were excellent at running games. How often did they run those games? They'll run them one game, have some success, and then they'll go away from it. So I believe this coaching staff will get more out of what they have. And then on top of it, you watch what Dallas has done under Dan Quinn. And it's not just about, the young man from Penn State, who is unbelievable. But he put him in positions. You know what I'm saying? They started him off one year. When he first started, was at the middle linebacker position. Then all of a sudden they realized this guy is special. They have him all over the place. They're going to be able to do those type of things, which is going to open up this defense some. Getting Bobby Wagner is going to help out the defensive line. You know what I mean? Luva he's a guy who can pass rush. He may not be able to cover as well as you would like, but he's a great pass rusher and he's a sure tackler. So I think that you see some things backing them up may enable the defensive line to be able to do some more games, play some more stunts, and do things like that, which will make them a little better. Do they have somebody like we could throw out there and say, hey, go give me 20 sacks? No, they don't have that right now. It's going to have to be by committee. And I think ultimately right now, that's what, I'd rather have a coach who's going to play them to their strengths than say, hey, this is what you're going to be. I don't care what you can do good. I want you to do this. And that's what Jack and I think Ron was about. And that's why they didn't have a lot of success.
All right, Lady A.
Good evening, B. Mitch. I'm good. I'm coming in remote today.
Yes, she is. She out west.
West for me. I do have a question. I mean, it's no secret that we're probably going to take a QB at number 2. Who do you see within the draft that may be able to help protect whoever that QB will be?
Well, it's a lot of offensive linemen. I think this draft is probably as rich with offensive linemen than it is with quarterbacks. And the thing about it, they have 2 picks in the second, where I feel they can move back in the first and get a legitimate guy. I still think they can get people in the second round where they are. But if I am really looking for a guy who I want this guy to grow with my quarterback, you take those 2 picks, you could probably move back in. Just like when they drafted was it Dwayne Haskins and also Montez Sweat? Mm-hmm. They were able to move back into the first round and get Sweat later in that round. I believe they could do the exact same thing this year and get a guy to go out and help. But at this point, I believe Lucas can help you. Scott Turner refused to have tight end chipping or running back chipping. Last year, they tried to just line up and throw some things. Didn't work out. But I believe that this coaching staff, and I think we look at the offensive coordinator and all that, but I think Lynn is probably going to be the most important person on the offensive side. Former head coach, a guy who knows how to have the running game great, but he also knows how to make his running backs block. That can kind of eliminate and erase some of those mistakes that offensive linemen make. So when I saw last year, I felt Lucas was better than Leno. Leno was the guy that was starting. Ryan liked him. I thought he was a turnstile. People run past him all the time. But now you have Lucas over there. You give him a little help. You give your quarterback a little time. And I believe they're going to draft Jaden Daniels. That's my belief. I don't know if it's right, and nobody has told me anything. But if they get him, that guy can extend plays. He can make a mistake still look good on you. And the best thing in the world, I was running quarterback. My guy misses tackle, misses block, and I go for 20. Or I scramble and throw a thing. He looks good. So he comes in the huddle and he thanks you. And I think that little bit can help out our offensive line at this point.
All right, Ant.
What's going on, B. Mitch? Is Anthony, resident Cowboy fan here.
What's up, man?
So, listen, my question is based off of the history of where your GM came from and the moves that they made over there. They seem to do very well at this game here when it comes to drafting, except for quarterback. I don't want to hear about how Mr. Irrelevant did whatever. That team was loaded as a whole. Do you see a blueprint that can kind of show you how he's constructed this front office is leading to draft in this draft?
Well, I think for me, listen, they made a trade for Trey Lance, and Trey Lance did not live up to the hype. And I think it was totally luck what they got with Brock Purdy. You know, I don't care what, Adam would say. I don't care what Kyle Shanahan would say. You didn't know that guy was going to be that good. But the ultimate thing right now, I look at both Drake May, I look at Daniels, even Penix. I think if Penix didn't have a knee injury, those 2 knee injuries, he might be the best quarterback in the draft. He might go high in there one of them. Okay?
He give me more vibes.
He has this dude without those knee injuries is damn near perfect. You know, best passes in the world, throw the best deep pass. He has some great arm talent. I mean, the dude can drop a ball in a bucket wherever he wants to do it. But he had 2 knee injuries. And when you're trying to make a major investment in somebody, you don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because one more injury and then you may never play again and then you're going to look stupid. But the ultimate thing is that they didn't draft a lot of good quarterbacks over there. And I'm not one that believes in if a guy didn't get it right the first time, I can't trust in it. Because I think it's the hardest job in the world. Everybody's looking for perfection. Pat Mahomes wasn't the number 1 pick. Andy Reid moved up and got him. Other people weren't going to take him. Now we're looking for Pat Mahomes all over the place. Okay? We had Colin, what's the little kid over there? Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
He was drafted high. Okay, Bryce Young drafted high. Mayfield drafted high. But they did not work out and have the level of status people thought they would be. But now you have some guys coming along, and as I hear everyone talk about Daniels, it's about, well, you know, he's small. Who gives a damn? When I got drafted, I was 195 pounds. I ended up playing at 221 pounds, okay? I didn't miss games because of injuries. And you look at Jaden Daniels, you think he's going to stay 210? No, he's going to grow a little bit. He might end up 215, 220. But Pat Mahomes was drafted at 230 pounds. And I noticed today he's down to 220-something. He lost weight. Why? Because if you're going to run around as much as he does, you gotta be able to do it. And if you're too big, you can't. It doesn't make a difference how big you are in the NFL. If you keep taking stupid hits, you're going to get hurt. Ask Ben. Ask Cam Newton. So I just think that what's going to happen here is they have to go and get the quarterback that they feel the best about. And most guys that I've talked to, okay, and Greg Cosell, somebody I respect totally. He said the guy is a better passer than anybody gives him credit for. But you know what they do when there's a black quarterback that can run? Oh, he's athletic. And that's what they stay with. They don't look at the fact that he completed 80% of his passes in a lot of games. They don't look at the fact that the guy threw 40 touchdowns and not many interceptions. You know, he showed he had as good an arm talent as anybody in the draft. You know, and that run he had, Joe Burrow had one great run. I didn't hear nobody knocking Joe Burrow. Now they're knocking this guy. Why? Ultimately, it's because we try to act like we're not biased in media. But when we see something that don't look like what we consider prototypical, a lot of media people, we find the wrong. We always look for what they can't do or what we think they can't do rather than what they do great. This kid can play, and I think what's going to happen, they can draft any one of these quarterbacks. They have to develop the quarterback. They have to make sure the quarterback has something around him, and then he can have success. If he don't have the things around him and they're not developing, he ain't going to be good.
Yep. Go ahead and get in there.
I mean, I think you're absolutely correct to a certain extent, but I think you can't compare positions because we're talking about quarterback.
Yeah.
The biggest, strongest ones, even in trying to do the right things, get their head knocked off. And so it matters. And I don't know if you want to.
I'll ask you a question then, Ant. Let me ask you this question. Did you hear anybody one time mention how small Bryce Young was last year?
Yeah.
Nobody discussed how small he was. He's 5'10", 5'10 and a half. He weighs 180 pounds. I didn't hear how small he was. They just said he was you heard anybody?
Oh, you're talking about going into the draft. Okay.
Going into the draft. Nobody discussed it. So you, like me, looking at him saying, okay, Kyler Murray didn't do it, so he probably won't be able to do it. But none of the great pundits said anything. So all of a sudden now we're looking at this kid and saying how it doesn't make a difference. This is where I'm stuck. J.J. McCarthy was 193 pounds, supposedly 6'3", 193, 198 his senior year. But he showed up to the combine at 220. So my question to you all would be, you think he can move around as well as he did at 193 at 220?
No.
He hadn't played any football games since the 190-something listing and then the 220 weight. So people like to throw weight as a certain thing. Weight don't necessarily make a difference. And let's be real. How many games did Jaden Daniels miss at LSU? When he got hit, he got up, didn't he? And he probably played better after he got hit. But when you're in college, whether you're lifting weights or playing football, you know what you're trying to do? Impress somebody. So you know what you do as a 18 to 21, 22-year-old kid? You do stupid stuff. You try to run over the linebacker. When you get to the pros, the quarterback, the coach, and the front office has to tell Jaden Daniels that, hey, you're not just a player. You're a CEO. We need you every game. So instead of taking that hit, go back, live to play another day, as Bobby Boucher would say. You know, if you got that's something that you can tell a person. You know, I hear people say, "Oh, well, his pressure to sack ratio. He had 43 as a junior, 23 as a senior. Sound like improvement to me, right?"
Yep.
It's looking better. It's looking better than Shador. Let's see how he looked this year, and that's my boy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al.
What's up, B? Hey, man, I don't even recognize you with all this weight off you, man. I might call you Lil B, man. First of all.
Whoa, pause.
Man, I hope it's helped the golf game, the weight loss.
Yeah, I can get all the way back there now. I don't have to worry about trying to bring all this with me.
Good. I mean, show me. I need some of that too. But man, but my question to you, B, like I said, we talked about this before. You decided to help out and offer your special teams knowledge to this staff with the Washington Commanders, man. We've talked about it before, and getting you out there and offer your expertise. I think it's crazy to have a Hall of Fame, not to have a Hall of Famer always active in the franchise and not get his expertise and his knowledge in that particular area.
All right.
So the question is, are you willing to go on staff this year, or have they come to you to get some of that knowledge from you?
I would consult. I don't want to be on nobody's staff because their hours are too long. You know, listen, man. I love being around the fam. I love riding bikes. I love playing golf. I like doing a lot of other things I'm doing out there right now. Mm-hmm. Coaching, bro. Whew. I mean, they get there like 6, 7 in the morning. They're there till 8, 9 at night. I mean, that's why the divorce rate is very high in coaching staff.
Yeah.
You know, the guys are in their 20s and 30s and they got gray hair. You know, I don't know if I want to do that, but I don't have a problem sitting and talking to guys.
Wait, what hair?
As I've done many a times, you know, a lot of guys will call me themselves, and I do that. But being on the staff, man, that money gonna have to be real good for me to make that decision.
Also, what areas, if you put on your GM hat for me real quick, and what areas would you make sure you solidify to make sure because we all know the quarterback positions are real big, very important, but to make sure that your miss percentage is lessened by supporting him.
The defensive line will have to be my absolute best.
Okay.
So I think that's where it works. If you look at the 91 Washington Redskins team, where people said it was the best Super Bowl team ever, you had an offensive line that was as good as any. That offense was ranked in the top 3. The defensive line was great. Capital defense, capital punishment, crime, whatever they call it. They were ranked in the top 3. And then the special teams was there as well. But ultimately, like Doc Walker would always say, your guys that smell like bacon need to be the best.
Yes.
You know, because coaches don't look good, quarterbacks don't look good, receivers don't look good because the quarterback don't have time. Running backs don't look good if the offensive line isn't good. And if your defensive line can't get consistent pressure on the quarterback, I don't care who you have in secondary, they're gonna get cooked. Because I don't care. Darryl Green couldn't cover for 8 minutes, 8 seconds, things like that. So you've got to make sure those guys are legitimate. And then on special teams, your return guy has to be a guy who can be a threat and a game breaker. You got to have a consistent kicker and a consistent punter. And on top of everything, your low got to be damn good. So
I'm glad you said that. Hold on. Wait.
He's going to be a good snapper. And he was.
Al, I got you, Al. I'm glad you said it because I got a question from JG here. It says with the UFL rules that the NFL adopted for the kick return, you know, that brings back the kick return, but that same rule also eliminates the onside kick. Yeah. Right. And at some point in times, those rules, because of the way the UFL does it, it will eliminate the extra point because you go for 2, you can go for 2 or 3. Right? How do you feel about the 4th and 12 eliminating the onside kick?
Well, I can understand a little bit about the onside kick, about the collisions and things of that nature. I don't like it. I really believe that you can go back to what it used to be. Because for me, I will argue with every doctor that the NFL has. You can't tell me that kickoff return causes more concussions than offensive plays. You can't tell me that a guy going across the middle getting hit by a linebacker causes less concussions than a kickoff return. I played 14 years, returned well over 1,400 kicks. 1 concussion. You know why? Because I knew the fundamentals of football. I used shoulders. I had the biggest shoulder pads you could probably buy for a running back. And I used them. Yeah. And if the offensive player, when you duck your head, you're going to get hit in the damn head. You know, but it's been proven that what offensive linemen do every day, every play, that causes more concussions and more long-term damage than that one big hit that somebody might get. So I think what they've done is they've gone overboard by trying to make sure the public can understand that we're trying to be safer. I understand what you're trying to do, but you made the game more dangerous in my book where guys don't know what they can do. Can't hit a guy high. Can't hit him low. If he's running away from me, I can't reach out and grab him. You know, you can't do nothing. So if you're guessing when you're on the field, you're going to get hurt. So the game to me is more dangerous now than it was before because of the uncertainty in what you can do.
All right. Look, we had B for 25 minutes. We kept you over by like maybe 3. I know you're about to get out there and get your exercise on. We do appreciate
I do that in the morning. I do that at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. Well, then we know it must be the time to start that little machine up then.
Well, what I'm about to do is go. I have to go pick up some beer because I have my own beer out now called Kicking It With WIT, a Belgian wheat beer with B Mitch. So looking for that.
You know what?
You need to drop that. That info.
It's out. We just canned it on Thursday, so we're gonna have a few events coming up, and we're gonna start putting it around. So keep a lookout.
Will be. I will show up in the spot. Just send me the info. I will show up to these events. Okay. I really do appreciate you stopping by. Again, you said you think Jaden Daniels is the first pick, but I do have to ask you this question. So, who's the second pick?
I mean, I think
who's our second
Caleb
pick?
Is the first pick, but Jaden is our quarterback.
No. Our second pick.
Our second pick is going to be a left tackle. But I can't really decide which one of them is going to be. I know Joel is great. He's going to be gone. Okay. The dude, I forgot his name, from Arizona, I think he's going to be gone.
Is that
Jordan? There's a lot of them out there right now, and I think they're going to pick a left tackle. I really believe that. And I think when they come back with the next pick, should be another tackle.
I agree.
Man.
Yeah,
I agree.
you neglected it for
Dallas was their best.
so long.
What did they have? A great offensive line.
A heck of an offensive line.
B. Mitch, only me and Sid, and I think Lady A as well, been saying this for over 2 years. There's no line. So you need to go heavy on getting some beefy guys out there, pause, to be able to protect your quarterback.
You're right.
Yeah, Morris Nisbet.
But that's the reason why I asked my question.
Quarterback, believe me.
As Smoot would say, guys that smell like bacon.
But that's the reason why I asked my question, because I've been saying it. Last year, I was so mad during the draft because
two corners.
Who's going to protect the quarterback?
Two corners.
You got to protect them, and I think we have gotten to the point where just because they can sell a jersey of a person, we love them as fans. But to me, and I played quarterback in college. I played quarterback in high school. If you hear me on the radio, what I talk about the most, I talk about offensive line and defensive line.
Yep.
Because I know nothing happens without those guys. The best of the best quarterbacks, they don't look good when they don't have somebody protecting them.
Right. That was my thing. That was my big thing about them trading Sam, because you knew he didn't have spots where he needed help. When you get sacked on your very first play of the very new year, play one.
The thing about him, though, and I like Sam, but I think for me, Sam would not throw the ball. He was hesitant. He would drop back and see it open, but would not pull the trigger.
Too late then.
And that right there is something that would make an offensive line turn on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the 9th grade playing with the senior high team, and I wouldn't release it because I was scared, they basically stopped blocking. Then I quickly learned how to release the football. So,
Last question for you, B. The Brandon Ayuk thing.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Do you think that may be like a draft day move, that we don't see a second tackle that we could get, and we may have to be like, hey, you know what? Let's give this wide receiver, or let's give this quarterback three weapons at wide receiver.
We'll be going along the lines we've always been. We're always trying to get all these shiny little toys. We don't have an engine or a transmission in the car. We're trying to have the pretty Ferrari, and we don't have an engine in it. What good is it? I think you got to build this offensive line up, and I think what you have at receiver right now could be even more deadly. Hell, I don't care who you put at quarterback. Terry McLaurin gets 1,000 yards.
He does.
Give the quarterback time to go through his sequence, and give him the time to be able to stand in the pocket, and then let's see what Terry can do.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, B. Mitch. We really appreciate you. We really do appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great one.
I'm sorry I was late because my computer just went kaput. I had to grab my white computer.
It was that beer.
All right, man. Y'all be good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Peace.
That was Brian Mitchell, future Hall of Famer for the Washington Redskins. He was never a Commander. He was a Philadelphia Eagle and a New York Giant. Man, so what do y'all think about what Brian said? Build up that offensive line.
I would love for y'all to go get Brandon Ayuk. Just keep doing dumb stuff. That sounds amazing.
Where did that come from, Pick? Where did that come from?
And you know what? And I know that was you that put that comment up there. You done hacked into my stuff, talking about no way they were the best. I know that was you.
What comment are you talking about? And why are you
talking about no way they were the best? B. Mitch said that the 1991 Washington Redskins was one of the best Super Bowl teams ever. I know that was you that put it in there. I know that was you that put it in there.
Well, here's the thing, lady. Show us your background. That's the first thing, because we want to see that beauty.
Beautiful background. That's a beautiful background.
That's beautiful.
I swear it is.
Secondly, we all know that that's cap, okay? We're not even going to get into this, okay?
Is that a pool behind you, too?
One of the best Super Bowl teams, I'll give you that. But the best, stop it. We can move on. It's cool.
No, it's actually a fact, Ant, that the 91 team is one of the best Super Bowl teams ever.
Well, one of the best.
It's just a hater.
one of the best. One of the best. They're one of the best.
We're arguably
nobody talks about the Washington. You know, I didn't really know that the Washington Redskins won a Super Bowl in '91. I really didn't. I mean, I was a kid, but I'm like, bro, no,
you're a hater.
Thank you,
you're a hater. That's all.
You probably was running around with your little toy cars and your little Tonka trucks.
John. If I'd have known that y'all were waiting to give a question from JG Garage Gym Life, I would have made a bunch of ruckus so y'all couldn't have got the question out. By the way, I disagree, John.
Haters gonna hate. All right.
Indeed.
Yesterday, the WNBA had their yearly draft.
Yes.
As everyone expected, Caitlin Clark went number 1. That's not the question here. The question is, what team got better?
Chicago Sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us why, Al. Tell us why.
Well, I think getting the big girl from South Carolina and Angel Reese,
Cardoza and Andrew Reese.
I think that's going to go a long way for both of them. I mean, you got a center and a power forward, and with how the WNBA game works, though, especially with Angel Reese. Like I said, she has an outside game. I don't think she got to show it as much in her senior or junior year she did in her early years. But I think both of them. I think both of them have a higher upside, and their better days are ahead of them than behind them. So I think Chicago made a lot of good moves in this draft, getting both of those girls. Championship pedigree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I agree. I agree with Al. I think that those two, you can build around them. You can do so much. I mean, they're young, and you know they both have heart, and we already know Angel. You know, she done shown that she got heart. So I think that, you know, that's a good start to turn your team into, you know, your dream team that you may want later on. You know, we always talk about it when we talk about football, when we talk about the NFL, but here we are talking about the WNBA, and they're doing pretty much the same thing that we suggest to other teams. You got to build around somebody. And so that's 2 young ladies that are extremely talented. And, you know, that's your starting point.
WNBA had a draft yesterday.
Bruh.
Hey, Ant, go to bed. Go to bed right now.
2.05
go to sleep. Your homegirl went number 1.
Hold on.
In the draft.
Yes, sir.
Where did she go?
Indiana.
She went to Indiana to the Indiana Fever.
Yes.
Give me the white girl. Okay. I'll take the white girl.
And you need to go in timeout right now.
But did you see? Now let me ask y'all this.
No, the Indiana Fever just got that much better.
They got
that much
better. They also. What do y'all? I got a question. What do you all feel about them broadcasting? Oh my goodness! I can't.
Listen, I live for those reactions. Thank you, Sid. You just made my
goodness,
no.
Just made my
no. And your bill is coming.
It wasn't a small. It wasn't.
Hey, you're not about to make it better. You're not about to make it better.
That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be monstrous. What the impact that's
gonna
make?
Hey.
I'm gonna put myself.
You do know. Hold on, and you do know I'm closer to y'all right now than I normally am. I will pull up and collect my fine.
Until you pay me, I ain't paying no fines.
Please go get it, Lady A. Please go get it.
Because what?
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm back.
Can we get past Ant for a second? Thank you, Ant.
I want to see nobody's hands for the rest of the show.
No. Ant doesn't know what to do with his hands. All right.
Oh my goodness.
The LA Sparks also had 2 picks in the first round, and they drafted Cameron Brick, and they also drafted Raquel Jackson from Tennessee, the small forward. Both of these girls are massive when it comes to defense. Cameron Brick is a shot blocker from inside, so they did their thing in building from the beginning also. And then Raquel Jackson, she's also like a defensive-minded person who also can step out and hit the mid-range on you as well. And you know her game should expand as well to stepping back behind that 3-point arc. Here's my question for you, Lady A. Angel Reese was sitting there at number 7. The Mystics drafted at number 6. And I'm not knocking the pick. They decided to get Edwards from UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they not bring Angel Reese home?
Do you want the truth or like a PC term?
Truth.
Truth. Hit me with the truth.
If you pay attention, the past couple of years, they've been stupid. Plain and simple. They haven't been thinking correctly. Like, I don't know, maybe making it as far as they have in recent years, make them comfortable. Like, I really don't know what the plan is, but clearly something ain't right. Now, someone can argue with the fact that, hey, maybe they are deciding not to bring her because she is home team. Sometimes that happens. Let's be real. When we bring our athletes back to DC,
They don't
tend to do well.
No.
They're better when they go anywhere else. So that could be a factor, but I feel like if you are sitting at number 6 and you had Angel Reese sitting there, what are you thinking?
Bring her home.
What are you thinking? It's not even bring her home. It's not even bring her home. She didn't have to be from here. Why would you not pick her up? Have you not seen her play? So it doesn't make sense to me.
She went to the University of Maryland. She went to the University of Maryland.
It don't matter where she went. That's what I'm saying to you, Pitt. I don't care where she's from.
No, I'm saying we know that her game is that good. She went to the University of Maryland before she transferred to LSU. We know that she's from Baltimore. We know that she can ball out. She is a fundamental, a foundational piece.
Right. But what I'm saying to you is, regardless of where she's from, the girl has talent. Why would you let talent pass by? Makes no sense to me. You cannot have Angel sitting there and you don't pick her up. That's the silliest thing I've ever seen. The fact that she went at 7, right?
She went 7.
The fact that she went at 7 was kind of like, what? I'm a little confused about that. But so meaning it's a bunch of teams that passed her over. And for the Mystics to do that, you need someone. If you want to get back to where you were a few years ago, you need somebody.
Get Deladova some help. Get Deladova some help, man.
Deladova's gone. She's not with the Mystics anymore. Deladova's gone.
You see?
Yep, she's gone.
Man. Oh,
she left in free agency this year.
Do you think that there could be a level of that people are kind of tired of the hype that surrounds? Because sometimes that stuff can have an effect on the talent of the player. So
I think that could be the case, yeah.
Because yes, we've seen what she 17 and 20, but it's like it's always
drama
or just the theatrics, and it's like, do you want that in your locker room? And I'm not saying she's a bad player or a bad person even, but I just think sometimes, man, people and organizations just prefer somebody that's gonna get in there and get it done. And we don't got to worry, even though they could use the exposure. The WNBA as a whole can benefit from Angel, from Caitlin. Let's be clear.
And they are.
They are. They absolutely
are. You know what I'm saying? But it's but sometimes, man, people are just, it's kind of like having T.O. back in the day or something like that. You're outspoken. You're doing sit-ups in the driveway. And it's just like, bro, we just need you to go out there and run routes, man. Like that type of effect. You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You can't deny his talent, but it's like, it's like, now what I should have known the draft was last night because I seen the dress and I'm like, okay, well, I think I heard something of it, but I've been quite honest with y'all. Like, tip off comes, I'll be watching, but it doesn't matter to me. I just know that I already knew they were going to have a real monstrous effect on the WNBA. So hopefully she can go out there and use that to show people that she's really more talent than talk. So
the monstrous effect that they're having right now is that so far they're having to move the Indiana Fever's games around to bigger arenas. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
And they have put them on TV. All their games going to be televised.
Whenever
Pretty
they play
much.
the Dallas Wings, I'm going to that game. I can.
Oh, you better get your tickets now because those ticket prices compared to when regular teams come through have already gone up. I told you guys earlier, get your WNBA tickets now before the draft so that y'all had y'all season tickets for when they came. So go check those prices now. It's not going to be killer.
I was going to say, what we talking about?
But the Dallas Wings really did get better as well. They had two outstanding people drafted. They got one from France. They got the first French girl. They got a shooting guard from France with their first round pick as well. She looks like an assassin from the outside. Go ahead, say it. What you got? Go ahead, say it.
You muted.
I'm sorry. Their first 3 picks were 3 guards.
Oh, they trying to come.
Yeah. So we may have to take a little trip out there and catch a couple of Wings games. We might have to do that, and we got to get out to Arlington too. Speaking of which, we're talking about tall females here. I asked the question earlier if you guys knew who Asia O'Neal was, right? So the reason I asked this question is because of this. I'm up late, get in, and their Longhorn Network is on, and they're telling a story about these volleyball players. Okay. One of them happens to be Asia O'Neal, the daughter of Jermaine O'Neal. All right. Asia O'Neal played volleyball at the University of Texas. Let's start over for a second real quick. Asia O'Neal was born with a heart murmur, right? We talked about the sacrifice of the game. So she played basketball for a good little while, and then she, about 7th or 8th grade, she decided to play volleyball. And when she started to play volleyball, she had wasn't feeling well and things like that. Her heart murmur got worse. She had to have open heart surgery at the age of 13. It fixed it, right? She goes on to move from Miami to Texas, where she goes to Carroll out in South Lake. We know where that is, right? She goes from Carroll to South Lake to the University of Texas. Her freshman year, her heart acts up again. At this point in time, she can easily say, I'm done playing volleyball, right? Get her education, and they would still grant her scholarship and everything like that. Nope. She has a second open heart surgery. She goes on to win 2 NCAA championships, right? Her junior year, it was her senior year, and then she had a 6th year because of COVID, because this was in 2022 and 2023. So she's back-to-back champions, and then she goes on to be drafted number 1 in the Federation for the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Never heard of
where she is killing the game now. So my question to y'all is, what would you do for the love of the game?
Man, that's a great question. I don't, 2 open heart surgeries. I'm about to call it quits. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's applaud the young lady for the courage and the stick-to-itiveness that she showed for doing it. Because I mean, obviously, just going through those things, God has shown her favor, and I hope He continues to do that, man. And I wish her all the best. But even as a parent, I mean, I don't know how. That's a rough road to carry. But like I said, I'm glad she was able to fix what was going on, and she's able to continue playing because it just shows her love and dedication to the game, man. So you got, like I said, just can't. My hand goes up and applaud the young lady for sticking to a game she loves and showing true dedication through adverse situations.
Now, I've dealt with broken legs and broken wrists and things like that. I'm not sure if I could have no open heart surgery and keep playing the game. I can tell you right there, she got me on that one right there. Yes, it's not a true contact sport or nothing like that, and I've seen people who've broken hips and come back and things like that. But 2 open heart surgeries, the first one at the age of 13, and then the second one when you're starting to become a young woman, and for the love of wanting to perform and do what you do and the freedom that you feel when you're on the volleyball court. Oh, hey, and her nickname. So y'all know volleyball. When you set the ball and you think this person gonna hit it and the other person back there they call her the slide queen because they'll set it like it's gonna go to her and come back this way, and she coming down killing it. The girl is amazing, bro. She's amazing.
Well, coming from a guy who once played volleyball, recreational volleyball to win the affections of a young lady, it's contact enough, man. It's a lot of jumping, it's a lot of sliding and diving. It ain't easy, I'll tell you that. So I mean, I got a lot of respect for it. I got a lot of respect for her. Let's be honest, a lot of us wouldn't have a regular open heart surgery just to stay alive. Men, a lot of the time, we'll just take our chances and roll the dice. But in this instance, man, like, you just gotta, take your hat off to her. I remember seeing that moment where Jermaine came out to congratulate her on the last one, and it was just a dope thing. Now, no idea what the backstory was. You could have just, looked at it like, well, her dad was a supreme athlete, had a story of his own, and to see his daughter come and, following those footsteps in another sport isn't still special, because just because you're good don't mean your kid's gonna be any good. Come on, Michael Jordan.
Ask Michael Jordan. Yep.
So it's still, it shows that it's something in there, but that thing that she did right there, that's all her. That ain't got nothing to do with her dad.
Nope.
So that's fight and tenacity and heart, no pun intended, that most people aren't going to display in a lifetime.
Yeah, say it. What you got?
Yeah, it's not a lot to say about this, man. I mean, because we've seen similar kids have similar stories of professional athletes, but the fact that she has. I mean, cause from what I've read, she knew about this. They knew about this when she was like 2 years old. So the fact that she has endured and has done great things along the way. She has not let it stop her from being the best she could be in the sport she loves the most. And that's my hats off to her. Like Alvin said, earlier, most people would just have shut it down and say, you know what? Let me sit down somewhere and hold this clipboard or move to another thing. She was like, nah, I really want to play, and I'm gonna keep on playing. Yep. And she was drafted. So
and the fact she was drafted, she's number one. That's
one.
I mean, like I said, I don't know, I don't know how serious and how I don't know what kind of lingering effects a heart murmur can have after surgery, but I guess it just speaks monument about her dedication and her level of fitness, because those teams don't. I don't know. I never knew it was a volleyball draft. So thank you for that information, Pick.
Yeah.
But like I said, they do their homework, man. And for them to take that risk, she must have been a hell of a player. And like I said, in some incredible shape. I said, post surgery.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, Ant. That Longhorn Network, it follows me around every time, and I was like, I started to think, I was like, does Ant know what hotels I'm going to? Because for some reason, when I'm in the rooms, like the only sport channels that come through be the Longhorn Network. Like, where's ESPN? I can't find it. And I'm watching some story about Texas. And I know that your second team, not your first team. I know it's Notre Dame. But...
No, I still love them, though. Don't get it twisted. But,
I said, shoot, this dude and these Longhorns, they killing me right now.
It's nothing like your first championship. Mm-hmm. And that was with Kentucky. So I gotta go with them first.
I got you. Say it. Did we cover everything?
Yes, we did.
All right. So again, we'd like to thank our guest Brian Mitchell for joining us today. Lady A, she had to get out of here a little early because she's enjoying her time off. And thank you guys, man. Thank you guys for watching First Ring Podcast, and thank you all for helping me get First Ring Podcast going. That's you, said Al, and my little bro Ant. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. So since we covered everything, I'm gonna go ahead and say it like this. Shouts out to my son, United States Air Force. First Ring Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell them, say it.
Go Dogs.
Hell.
Ready for your beats? My first song from the person.